President Cyril Ramaphosa is joined in paying tribute to retired Constitutional Court Justice Yvonne Mokgoro after her passing on Thursday. Mokgoro has been hailed for her contribution to South Africa's constitutional democracy. I am joined now by attorney Abigail Ngobeni to speak more about her tenure. Abigail, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, can you share some reflections on the legacy of Justice Yvonne Mokgoro, but also her impact on South Africa's legal landscape, particularly as the first black female judge, but also speaking about her tenure on the Constitutional Court bench?
Well, good afternoon to you, Tatle, and good afternoon to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika, and thank you very much for having me today. And of course, I join the millions of South Africans with a very heavy heart to convey the message of condolences to the family, particularly as well to the members of the judiciary, to be specific, the Apex Court and other jurists in our country. And of course, to reply to your question, I would say Justice Yvonne Mokgoro is one of the celebrated legal icon and heroine of our generation, and her legacy speaks very well, high volumes of her. In my language, there is a saying which says, "Mintiro ya munhu ya vulavula." That speaks to the kind of impact and legacy that a person can be able to speak volumes even in their absence. And I join the South Africans to echo their words to say the work of Justice Mokgoro speaks for her even in her absence.
So how do you think Justice Mokgoro's work, but also her contributions, have influenced the trajectory of human rights and justice in South Africa, especially in the context of her involvement in really investigating critical incidents like the University of Johannesburg stampede?
Justice Mokgoro was one of the people who respected her oath of office. And when she was afforded an opportunity to speak to the law graduates in the University of Cape Town one day, she stood up and said, and delivered a powerful speech titled, "Making the Constitution Work for All of Us." And if I were to quote her words to the viewers, she addressed the law graduate and said to them, if the law is used or can be used skillfully, it can be utilized as a powerful tool to bring transformation in our society. Justice Mokgoro believed in the spirit of Ubuntu, and in everything, in her way in which she conducted herself during her term of office, one can only say we all need to walk on the steps of such a kind of a person of her caliber. And I say to you that part of the things I'll say in the legal profession, being the first black female jurist to be appointed to the highest court in the land in 1994 with fresh scars of oppression, that will tell you that the kind of a person we're talking about must have made a huge impact in the law society.
Abigail, on that same theme, but also as an attorney, what lessons or insights do you draw from Justice Mokgoro's career, but also a personal journey? And how do you think her example can really inspire the next generation of legal professionals, especially women and minorities?
Thank you very much for that question, Tantla. You know, Justice Yvonne Mokgoro rises from being an assistant nurse in the dusty streets of Kimberley. And she rises from being a clerk from the Department of Justice and moving from that to ascending the bench in the highest court of the land. She'll tell you that that is a true definition of resilience. That's a true definition, an example of hope, a person who opened a gap and huge steps for us as young female black practitioners to follow. And in Justice Mokgoro, we draw aspiration, we draw inspiration to say the sky is not even the limit. Where you come from does not matter, but you should never allow your background to put your back on the ground. And we are learning that from Justice Mokgoro's journey to say it is possible. The door is open even wider. She was able to ascend the bench just after the dawn of democracy. And today we are privy to have so much access as young female attorneys, as young females, as a daughter from the villages. We have so much access to things that they were not privy to. And she was able to break all odds and be able to be on top of the bench of the highest court in the land. And for that, it's a door that is open for all of us. And for that, we say there's hope for all of us.
So in light of Justice Mokgoro's passing, what do you believe are the most pressing challenges, Abigail, or even areas of focus for South Africa's legal system moving forward? And how can her principles and values continue to guide this pursuit for justice in the country?
I think, particularly in the legal field, if we can all respect our oath of office, be it an attorney, be it an advocate, be it a judge, a magistrate, a commissioner in the land claims court, small claims court, in all various offices where we took oath of office, and follow in the steps of Justice Mokgoro, we can see transformation. I tell you, Tlantla, that a transformation should not only be celebrated when it's in the public domain, but a person in their corner can make their corner brighter. You can shine better in a space where you are placed on. You don't need to be in front of the camera or in front of high officials for you to be honest to your oath of office. You can uphold the rule of law, constitutionalism, and respect your oath of office to make change in your various aspects of your life. And we learned that from the best in the person in the form of Justice Jennifer Yvonne Mokgoro.
So in the same breath, Abigail, how can Justice Mokgoro's contributions then serve as a blueprint for promoting diversity, equity, and even inclusion within the legal profession and broader society as well?
You see, when we talk of Justice Mokgoro, we are talking about the most South African trailblazing defender of justice. She was a defender of human dignity. She was a defender of the Constitution. And those are the cornerstone of our democracy. If we can all draw aspiration, we can draw strength, we can draw focus in respecting the rule of law, the issue of constitutionalism. You'd remember that one of the things that she would promote even after she retired was to stand in for the rule of law. And I remember one of the constitutional judgments in Kosa versus the Minister of Social Development. That's where she upheld a judgment of a lower court granting access to social benefit to permanent residents who were originally from Mozambique. That speaks to the spirit of Ubuntu. And if I can treat you as my brother, Tlantla, and believe that I can learn the best from you and I can respect you regardless of where you come from, regardless of where you have been, regardless of the color of skin, we're promoting equality. Those are the core values of our democracy, core values of our Constitution. We can move South Africa forward.
So as we wrap up, but also as we continue to remember Justice Mokgoro's remarkable life and career, what specific actions or initiatives do you believe the legal community should really undertake to honor her memory, but also continue advancing the principles of justice and equality that she should stood for?
Well, I would say it's a difficult one, but I would say to believe that when we're making, she said, making the Constitution work for us all. And she was speaking one day on her being a judge, and she was more keen to say it's not necessarily about celebrating the importance of the office she was holding, but more of touching lives while she was in that office. And I learned a lot from that to say the respective offices that we hold are not necessarily to boast our persona or our egos as people, but we are in various spaces to impact the lives of the communities we serve. And I would say everybody else, be it in the legal profession or outside, we are all charged to respect the rule of law, but above that, to respect the rights of human, and also to celebrate our diversity in difference, and also tolerate our different origins and our tradition, to embrace each other, to say it's okay to be different, but we can make space for each one of us to live in a better South Africa with all our differences, and we learn that from her legacy.
Abigail, thank you so much for your time. That was attorney Abigail Ngobeni helping us get a deeper understanding of Justice Mokgoro's influence, inspiring us to carry forward her commitment for justice